A country in the heart of Europe with vast plains, rolling hills and the mighty Danube, which runs through it from north to south. Hungary not only impresses with its picturesque landscapes, but also with its rich history. Shaped by the conquest of land by the Magyars, long Ottoman and Habsburg rule, unification with Austria and communism, it has developed into a modern and proud country since 1989. It is located in Central Europe and borders Austria, Slovakia, Ukraine, Romania, Serbia, Croatia and Slovenia. The country is a member of the European Union, NATO and is also part of the Schengen area. With Budapest as its cultural and economic center, Hungary has one of the most beautiful capitals in Europe. The Danube, the Great Hungarian Plain, hilly Transdanubia and Lake Balaton, all these landscapes characterize the country. Hungary combines a rich culture, history and traditions with progress and stability. But what is Hungary really like and what has to be considered when moving there? Around 9.5 million people live in Hungary. Population growth is slightly declining and the median age is at around 42 years, slightly higher than in the US. The largest city by far is the capital Budapest, followed by Debrecen, Szeged and Miskolc. The vast majority are Magyars, that is ethnic Hungarians, followed by a few percent Roma and a small number of Hungarian Germans, Slovaks and Croats. However, many Hungarians live in the neighboring countries, about 2.4 million outside of Hungary. Due to the Treaty of Trianon following the First World War, their settlements lie outside the current state borders. Most of them are in Slovakia, Romania, Serbia and Ukraine. The official language is Hungarian, a surprisingly exotic language as it does not belong to the Indo-European language family, like most languages in Central Europe, but to the Finno-Ugric. This is a Uralic language that is distantly related to Estonian and Finnish. Apart from Hungary itself, there are about 1.5 million people of Hungarian descent living in the USA, followed by 1 million in Romania, as well as Hungarians in Slovakia, Canada and Serbia. According to current data, Hungarians mainly move to other European countries, with the main destination being Germany, Austria and England. How does the AI see Hungary? A picture of the Hungarian parliament situated on the Danube, idyllic vineyards in the interior, the large Lake Balaton, a view of the castle of Eger, and a picture of the Hortobágy National Park. This is how AI seems to see Hungary. Hungary's most important export partners are Germany, Romania, Italy, Austria and Slovakia, while its most important import partners are Germany, Austria, China, Poland and Slovakia. The majority of exports and imports are machinery and transportation equipment, as Hungary has developed into an important location for the automotive industry. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Opel and Suzuki have set up plants in Hungary, so it is not surprising that it is mainly machinery that is imported and exported. The economy has developed and diversified remarkably in recent decades and is now one of the more dynamic economies in Central Europe. It also benefits from its strategic location in Central Europe, which makes the country a hub for trade between East and West. Membership to the European Union has allowed access to European markets and attracted many investments. The unemployment rate is relatively low, but there are regional differences and the immigration of skilled workers abroad remains an issue. But more on this later. Hungary attracts around 18 million tourists every year, most of them from Germany, England and Austria. Budapest in particular attracts visitors with its parliament building, the Fisherman's Bastion and the hot thermal springs. But Hungary is not just Budapest. Lake Balaton is the largest lake in Central Europe and a popular destination among tourists and Hungarians alike. Medical tourism is also strong. Moson-Mandzságovar, just after the border with Austria, has around 350 dental clinics, more per capita than anywhere else in the world. Prices are a third to a half lower than in Vienna. Many Austrians therefore seek treatment in this little village during a day trip. The many thermal and mineral water resources also make Hungary one of the leading centers for spas in Europe. The top 6 must-see places in Hungary are of course Budapest with its parliament building, as well as Lake Balaton with its beaches and picturesque vineyards. The historic town of Eger with its famous castle and old town is also worth a visit. The Hortobágy Plain, the oldest national park in Hungary, offers a unique landscape with endless expanses and a variety of animal species. The village Holokő, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is also worth a visit. Last but not least, we have the Danube Bend, a region with spectacular views. One of Hungary's most important natural resources is fertile soil. Just under 60% of Hungary's land area is used for agriculture and the country is predominantly flat, which contributes to its agricultural potential. In addition to wheat, corn and sunflowers, the country also produces world-famous Hungarian dessert wines. They are among the best sweet wines in the world. Large underground water resources also play a role. The largest lake in Central Europe is located in Hungary, and with over 1,300 thermal springs, Hungary has one of the highest densities of natural thermal springs in the world. It also has mineral resources such as bauxite, a raw material for aluminum. In the 1980s, the country was one of the world's largest producers of bauxite, but mining has declined sharply since then. Coal is also mined, but here as well production is declining. Oil and natural gas are also available in limited quantities. However, production cannot meet the country's own needs, meaning that Hungary is heavily dependent on energy imports. Did you know that Hungary has a rich tradition of scientific achievements? Budapest was the first city in mainland Europe to build a metro. The M1 metro line is still in operation today and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The country has an exceptionally high number of Nobel Prize winners, making it one of the countries with the most prize winners per capita. So it is not surprising that the famous Rubik's Cube was also invented by a Hungarian in Hungary. And the final fact is that Hungary's national anthem is one of the oldest in the world, written in 1823. The Danube River divides Hungary into two main regions, Transdanubia in the west, including the Little Hungarian Plain, and the Great Hungarian Plain in the east. The fertile Little Hungarian Plain is characterized by a diverse landscape with small rolling hills. Thanks to the mild climate, intensive agriculture thrives in this region. The Great Hungarian Plain, on the other hand, is a vast open gravel-based plain. The Tisza River flows through it, but these lands were not particularly fertile. Due to the drainage of rivers and deforestation, the soil became saline. But through extensive irrigation efforts, fertile farmland has been restored, making it possible to cultivate crops such as corn and sunflowers. There is also a mountain range in the northern part of the country, which is densely forested at higher elevations. Hungary's highest peak, Kekes, stands at 1,000 meters above sea level. Hungary has a temperate continental climate. This means that summers are often hot and dry, with temperatures exceeding 30 degrees, while winters can be very cold, especially in the northern and eastern regions. Due to its size, Lake Balaton has a moderating effect on the local climate. It reduces extreme temperature fluctuations. In winter, air masses from Russia can bring cold waves, while in summer, warm air currents from the Mediterranean can lead to heat waves. Hungary experiences distinct seasons, which I think is very nice. Here is an interesting custom. In Hungary, there is a tradition of toasting without clinking the beer glasses together. This practice dates back to a historical event during the Hungarian War of Independence against the Habsburgs, where 13 Hungarian generals were executed. It is said that the Austrians celebrated these executions by clinking their beer glasses. Out of grief, the Hungarians decided not to clink beer glasses for 150 years. Even though this period has long since passed, many Hungarians still uphold this tradition to honor the memory of the fallen generals. In Hungary, you won't stay hungry, as it offers a rich mix of Ottoman, Austrian and Balkan influences, along with many local specialities. The cuisine is known for its generous use of pepper, the country's national spice. Hungarian goulash is probably the most famous dish in the country, but pörkölt with noketli is also a speciality. There are also spicy fish soups along the country's rivers, and Hungary is famous for its sausages. The Hungarian dobos cake is just as much a delicacy as the many significant wines of the country. With over 1,000 years of winemaking tradition, Hungary ranks among the top wine-producing countries, especially in the field of sweet wines. How much does it cost to live in Hungary? If you live off $5,000 a month in Los Angeles, you would need about $2,100 for the same lifestyle in Budapest. This makes life about 60% cheaper. Of course, you have to consider local salaries too. The median salary, depending on the source, is at around 750 euros. The average salary after taxes is slightly over 1,100 euros. Based on my research, a cashier earns around 750 euros a month. Due to inflation, costs in Hungary have risen significantly, but wages have not increased at the same rate. Nevertheless, from groceries and restaurant visits to rents, costs can be much lower depending on where you move from. Of course, these costs vary depending on where you are in the country. If you move to Hungary with savings, a pension or a steady income, it will be financially worthwhile. What are the upsides of moving to Hungary? Besides the low cost of living, especially outside of the capital Budapest, the country's rich culture and history also are major benefits. Impressive architecture, festivals and traditions are visible everywhere, and with its vibrant art and music scene, you won't get bored that quickly. Hungary's central location in Europe is another advantage. Thanks to its well-developed transportation network, you can quickly travel to one of Hungary's many neighboring countries. Ideal for traveling. We have already mentioned the thermal springs, the climate and the natural beauty. But there are also some downsides to consider, such as lower wages or the absurdly high value-added tax of 27% on most products. The language barrier can also be a challenge, as Hungarian is one of the most difficult languages in Europe, and many administrative processes are hardly available in English. Corruption is another frequently discussed issue, especially in public administration. Political polarization also seems to be a debated topic. Some people also report a general sense of pessimism, which even many Hungarians themselves complain about. Bureaucracy, as in many other countries, is also unavoidable. Many official processes are complicated, lengthy, and often inefficient, which can be particularly frustrating at the beginning. However, improvements have also been observed. What needs to be done in order to move to Hungary? As a European Union citizen, moving to Hungary is relatively easy as it is part of it. Entry is visa-free, but within 93 days of arrival, registration must be completed via the online platform Enter Hungary. A registration certificate is required for residents, which is valid indefinitely for European Union citizens. The documents required for registration include a valid ID card or passport, proof of purpose to stay, proof of accommodation in Hungary, proof of income or a scholarship, and health insurance. A long-term stay is possible if you work in Hungary, run a business, have sufficient financial means, or you are a student. After 5 years of continuous legal residence, you can apply for a permanent residence permit. From 2025 onwards, new applicants must also pass a cultural knowledge test. Although not mandatory, learning the Hungarian language greatly facilitates integration. It is also advisable to take care of accommodation, health insurance, and other practical aspects before moving to ensure a smooth start in your destination. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.